Hey, what's up guys, it's Left here, and today I am bringing you guys another Vainglory video. So in today's video, I'm going to be playing some CP Vox in the lane, and the topic of today's video is Update 1.14. Now, Update 1.14, no one knows when it's coming out, it's bringing some huge changes, but before we get into that, you guys might see it on the screen right now, I am part of Vision again. So, TAS kind of like disbanded. I mean, it lost the majority of its competitive players, and it just kind of collapsed. Seos was a really nice guy, and he didn't really buy into the whole high elo politics thing. Didn't really want to do dirty marketing strategies, things like that. But I mean, it didn't really work out for TAS. So now I'm back with Vision, and I'm happy to say that I won't be leaving this time. This guild, it might not be the most high elo players, might not be like the best of the best, the pros, but they have it all figured out. Like, they know how to do this. They're running the guild perfectly. They're publicizing themselves. We have events. We have community. They know what they're doing. It's a perfect home to be in for a guild, especially for a player like me who isn't exactly on the super competitive side of things and probably won't ever be due to schedule. But it's just like, it's the perfect place for me. I don't know why I left in the first place. I love it here. So with that out of the way, let's get into the I've compiled a list for you guys of like the most important update changes that are coming in 1.14. So first of all, I have some hero changes for you guys, and the kings of the meta have been dethroned, decapitated, whatever you want to say, because Arden, his Vanguard scaling has gone down from 25% to 15%. This is an absolutely brutal nerf on first look. But hold onto your hats, because it gets even worse for Arden. Vanguard range down from 9 to 7. Think of the range that Celeste has on her Heliogenesis before level 5. That's the new range of Arden's Vanguard. Now, I do not see a way that Arden makes it back into the meta here, because I mean, mostly his meta-ness came from the fact that he provided so much utility with Blackfeather and Sky, who I'm going to get to later. You guys are going to get to hear some serious nerfs for them soon. But also, more of an insignificant change on Arden. If you ever noticed a sort of a bug where you're throwing down the gauntlet and it lands like right on top of an enemy hero, like it'll either push them away or it'll push them in towards you, that is no longer the case. If you hit them in that tiny window, it'll just flat out stun them instead of like pushing them. So with that bug is fixed, that is all the changes for Arden. So after Arden we have Broken Feather, and he is being rightfully put in his place for 1.14. His execution is now weapon damage and not true damage, which is the sensible thing to do. I don't know why it was ever true damage. They're really getting rid of all of the things that are true damage. They changed Ringo's Hellfire Brew to CP off of true damage, of course. Now they're changing Broken Feather. They're changing his executions to weapon. So that's great. Also, his Feint of Heart is no longer it's no longer counted as a basic attack. It's an ability with 100% weapon ratio now, which is amazing. It used to be able to crit, it used to be able to proc Attention Bow, start Breaking Point, it used to be able to stack off of Breaking Point. I mean, this one still will stack off of Breaking Point, but Breaking Point is like a whole other thing I'm going to get to later. But long story short, Broken Feather doesn't seem to be that great anymore. So, also, his execution, they sort of buffed him in this respect just so they weren't making a potato, which I understand. His execution scaling is up from 8 to 10% to 12 to 20% on the missing health damage. So that's kind of a good thing. It'll keep him a niche character, comp specific, I believe. And that's it for Blackfeather. I believe the nerfs and buffs were totally reasonable here. And now, after Blackfeather, let's get onto a even more broken hero as of 1.13, Kestrel. Kestrel got a slight buff in that her active camo's ability cost was reduced. Which, if you guys have played Kestrel, you know how painful it is managing your energy system. It's like you want to use your stealth once, all right. You're not allowed to use any other abilities for like 2 minutes while it recharges your energy. It takes over half of your energy bar at level 1, and I'm just really glad that they made this more forgiving. So, also with Kestrel, her Glimmer Shot hitbox has been reduced. Super Evil felt like it was too forgiving. It needed a higher skill cap, which I totally agree with. So it's going to be harder to land those arrows now. Also, her scaling on the Glimmer Shot has been reduced from 125% at all levels to 95% at level 1, scaling up to 135% at level 5. So what this does is it takes off the insane early game power that she would do, and she would push Kashka out of her own jungle in the early game, which we all know should not happen. Kashka should be the strongest level 1 hero, but no. So they took that damage down, and they punched it up late game because Kestrel was a complete potato in the late game unless you played her absolutely perfectly. So that's good. They've really just balanced out her. They've just balanced out the facets of her gameplay with the early, mid, late game phases. And next, her CP ratio or her CP damage has been increased on Glimmer Shot, but the splash damage has been decreased. So you're going to be doing more damage with CP Kestrel, but you're going to have a smaller window of splash damage to hit. That's fine. I mean, just raising the skill cap a little bit and raising the reward a little bit for CP Kestrel. CP Kestrel was rarely played in 1.13. It was really only on Weapon Power Kestrel. You saw Iraqi Zoro play CP Kestrel in the IPL. CP was personally my favorite. CP was personally my favorite. I liked it a lot more than Weapon because of the splash damage, but that's just me. So, next, on Kestrel, one more nerf for reload time. Her reload time on Glimmer Shot has been changed from 3.3 seconds to 4 seconds. Now, this is good. It's just a flat nerf, balances Kestrel out. I haven't seen anybody really complain about this nerf yet, and that is it for Kestrel. Now on to Skye. Skye is pretty overpowered. She doesn't have enough of the skill gap that they promised. She's too easy to play with how much damage she puts out. But her Surrey Strike, her CP ratio on Surrey Strike has been put down from 150 to 100%. So this is good in that Surrey Strike won't be completely nuking your whole team as much like it was before. And also, damage to minions, or damage to objectives, has been reduced to 60%, because, I mean, it was pretty ridiculous how fast you could take the Kraken with forward barrage. Let's be fair here. You could take it so ridiculously fast with Skye. So, her damage is down there just to kind of balance her, minion and boss clear out with the rest of the hero pool. Also, a slight unspecified buff has been given to Weapon Power Forward Barrage. No one really knows what it is, but Weapon Power Forward Barrage is being buffed in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, hopefully Weapon Skye will be meta. I love using Weapon Skye. She's really fun. You've seen her in my videos. I never play CP Skye. I hate her, but Weapon Skye is just very fun. So next, that is it for Skye. And, oh wait, no, one more thing for Skye. Her Surrey Strike cooldown. Now this is pretty insignificant. Zekent said, well, it's a nerf. That's all he said. He said, cooldown on Surrey Strike has been increased by 0.5 seconds at the max level. Now this really doesn't mean very much. I mean, maybe it'll mean something, but it doesn't really seem to mean very much, but it's there. Also, so next, Petal. Everyone's favorite usual potato. She was really good from like 1.11, 1.12, 1.10. Her minions now scale 12% CP with health.
Seriously?
Now, this is very, very good just from a speculation standpoint. I love Petal. I have her seasonal skin. I would really like to start playing her again because of the melee comps that people use. Petal just completely nullifies melee comps. It's pretty great. But this is going to be great. It's like every time you get CP, your minions get bigger and bigger and badder, and it's going to be awesome. I mean, hopefully they won't still get completely melted by Forward Barrage. Maybe Sky won't be the meta and they won't have to be melted by Forward Barrage, but yeah. It's great for Petal. That's the only change that she's had in this update. Also, so the last, or second to last, hero change I can give you guys is Adagio. His Gift of Fire has been, they've tweaked the heal gain at each level. So, what would usually happen is, Gift of Fire, it had like a really crappy leveling system. Like, you'd upgrade it and overdrive it and be like, woohoo, you got 5 more heal. Yay, look at all the hard work you did to get 5 more heal. So, I don't have the exact numbers here, but they scaled out Gift of Fire's, they definitely scaled out Gift of Fire's, leveling. Lastly, a Fortress bug fix where abilities were able to hit the wolves on his ultimate. That is now fixed. We won't have to worry about Sky taking out all of your wolves with a Surrey Strike again. So that is it for the hero changes. Next is something I have called Breaking Point BTFO. If you don't know what that stands for, Google it. I think you'll laugh. Breaking Point has been BTFO. It now does damage based on the amount of weapon power you have. No longer are you allowed to just get Breaking Point as your only offensive item. That's not going to work anymore due to these new changes. Now, this is just a groundbreaking change, and we're going to see how it plays out when 1.14 comes out. I can't really make any speculation yet, other than the fact that it might be good on someone like Ringo now, who can just output tons of single target burst damage with his crits and his Twirling Silver. But that's it for Breaking Point, and now we've got some intricate jungle map changes. First, jungle changes, we have the camps are now way more deadly for some reason. They felt it necessary to sort of buff up the minion camps, and I don't know, it kind of like forces the players to hyper level and stick together, or hyper levels stick together. It's a little bit strange. I'm not really sure their rationale. Like, you can actually, you can't take the first bat camps by yourself anymore unless you're like Kroll and can lifesteal them. You can't take the double bat camps by yourself at level 1. They've totally buffed the camps. I'm not sure their rationale behind it yet. Hopefully we will see in the future. But the camps are going to be way harder to take. So, also after that, the healing camps, the 2 minions that grant you a heal after you kill them, they are now going to grant you a better heal. The heal is going to scale with your level now, so taking those camps will be a good way to heal after 5 minutes, where it usually becomes less effective. So, healing camps are going to be better. Next one is pretty insane. Goldmine always neutral. This is, I don't understand this change, to be honest. Now, it's really going to prevent mid-game snowballing, which I can understand, but what's going to happen is when one team takes the gold mine, they take the gold payout, it resets, but the gold mine isn't on their team. So the gold mine is no longer a control and hold objective, or a capture and control objective, which I don't like. I mean, like, what it was for me is controlling the gold mine and defending it solo was like one of the things that made support the most fun for me. Like, it was like the roamer's job. Get minion candy, defend the gold mine solo against their entire team. And I can sort of see their rationale behind this, but part of me just isn't liking it. I mean, we'll have to see how this plays out. Hopefully it's going to prevent snowballing a little bit more, but I mean, I'm a little bit inconsistent when it comes to snowballing topics. I love it when I'm snowballing, and I hate it when they put in like the bounty system and I can just make one mistake and lose the game, even though it's like 20-0. But with that said, I mean, I can't really comment on what I think of the goldmine change. So, after the goldmine change, there's one more. Kraken is going to spawn 3 minutes after it's killed instead of 4. I don't really understand this change either. I mean, Kraken spawning even faster is really going to hurt teams that are trying to play from behind. I personally just do not like this change. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, it really doesn't. I mean, the last thing you want if you're a team trying to turtle and play behind is them getting the Kraken even faster than they would have in 1.13. So those are all of the super important changes that I found for you guys. Also, there's a new Koshka skin, new hero, Ozo. He's like a Monkey King. A lot of his abilities revolve around like bouncing around and doing area effect damage. Haven't really seen much of him yet. So with that said, that is going to be the end of today's video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned something useful as the enemy team surrenders in a couple seconds. And comment down below what you guys think of update 1.14. And also the Lunar New Year theme and the Lunar New Year map. I did see it and it has some fireworks on it, so it's pretty cool. So that's going to be it, guys. Leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you loved it, and I will see you in the next video.